Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining me and Steven for a new video. Steven, you may remember him. I had him on for an interview. When was it, man? Early 2021?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like 1,000 years ago in
It
this weird
does.
spaceless sickness time, but it was really only like 7 months ago. I did my initial interview on the show. So glad to be back, Ryan.
Yeah, man. Thanks for. I'd emailed you and you ignored my email, but I was like, no, I'm emailing him again. I personally wanted an update on like your story with Etsy because like I just had the utmost confidence that it was, you were already killing it and you were 6 or 7 months into your journey then. But I knew that you were going to keep crushing it. So we're all dying to know, even though I may have put a little bit of clickbait in the title of this video, like how are your sales looking? You're roughly a year into the journey.
Yeah, so I just completed my first full year on Etsy doing print on demand, and I was doing the analytics, and I hit 95K in sales, which is way more than I thought I was going to get when I started this journey a year ago. Because you're watching these videos thinking, can I do this? How much can I actually make in this passive income? But one full year on Etsy, I think the title may have said 100K, a little bit of a clickbait, but I almost got there with 95K in, revenue sales. Obviously profit is less than that, but super excited and pumped that I was able to, almost get to that 6-figure number with the goal of this year, 2022, absolutely crushing it and getting to at least 6 figures. So that's the update, and just excited to be back on to share that with your audience.
Yeah, man, I love it. And I was thinking, I was like, how do you get that last 5K? When you're going to be short. I was thinking, like, just follow the crypto scam train and be like, buy this Bitcoin shirt, get a free Bitcoin. It's only $5,000. Just sell a shirt for 5K and never send the Bitcoin.
If I tell people it's an NFT, they'll just start throwing money at it, type of thing. So yeah, you're right. I should have been more clever in December, figuring out how to get that last 5K, but so close.
Dude, speaking of NFTs, because if you guys remember Steven's first interview, at the end, we kind of tailed off and talked about some crypto, well, a specific crypto project you're working on, and we'll kind of update on that too at the end of this one. But dude, offline, off the recording, I'm going to tell you about like print on demand NFTs, something exciting that's coming in 2022 that like it's still in beta, but it's going to be crazy, dude. But back to Etsy. All right. What was the main driver of your success? If you had to like come up with one thing, and I mean, then you can say a second and a third, but what was the number one thing?
Yeah, for me, it was once I really honed in on a niche and an audience, I was able to, scale out my designs specifically with an audience in mind. And so maybe I can start the story with what didn't work, which is when I first joined Etsy, I was doing many designs for many different niches. And on Etsy, it's a very different platform and beast than Amazon, Redbubble, TeePublic, the other print-on-demand platforms. You have to think of the audience of people that are on Etsy as a little bit different user than your Amazon user. And so once I really honed in on a niche and my shop became branded as that niche, I then found I was getting more traction versus just throwing, trying to chase that money for, whatever that week was. I think that approach does work for other platforms like Amazon, where you're not responsible to like have a store appearance. On Etsy, you are kind of a brand owner. People go to your shop and your store and they see the banner, they see your little photo, and then they would like to see all of your items that are within their niche that they're interested, because they searched for, and this is not my niche, but let's say dentist, right? So they want to see all of the funny dentist related shirts, mugs, cups, stickers, because they're a dentist or they're shopping for a dentist, and then it's a one-place shop. So once I really niche down into a specific audience, I can then scale out my designs knowing who exactly I was targeting.
Dude, I love that too, because like I was always a fan of I mean, for me, out of simplicity's sake, like I wanted one store and I would just do like if I had a bunch of products in one niche, I would just create a section, and that would be my attempt at doing it. But when people would ask like, should they go that route or should they do a niche store, like I never was definitively like, oh no, there's only one right way to do it. I just said, hey, like this is what worked for me. I don't know that it's worth the extra effort. And I like that, you only have one Etsy shop, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So you just kind of like found something that was working, doubled, tripled down on it, and just said, okay, and I like that. You're not getting like crazy and overcomplicated. Like when you get a review, it's still on your main shop. And that was the one deterrent from me that stuck out, is like, if you start multiple shops, like you really are kind of making it twice as hard on yourself potentially. But dude, like what I liked about, well, there's a couple things, because you showed me your shop, and I like that you on one of your images, this is like a best practice, like in your listings, you say, hey, available on other products, and you had like the little mock-ups from Printful, I think. And like, how is that working for you? Do you get a lot of people reaching out and asking for a design on a different product?
Yeah, and it's fairly effective, not only from like a customer capture, but also just keeping it as cheap as possible and lean as possible. Because as you're aware, on Etsy, they charge you every time you want to list a new product, and a product is a shirt, a mug, a long sleeve, a sweatshirt. And so even though it's the same design, it's going to cost you, a listing fee every single time. And so by only listing the main item, which for me is a shirt, if the user, they're browsing the images of the shirt they're going to buy, they get to the end, they see, oh, if you like this design, I can also put it on a sweatshirt or a mug. And, I'll frequently get customers that reach out and say, I love this design, I want it on a sweatshirt. And I have saved myself that 20 cents listing fee on Etsy, because I don't need to add those variations. Where on Amazon, when you list a design, it just scales out to all of those different product types. So I highly encourage you, regardless of your niche, to make one of your images for an Etsy listing the opportunity for the customer to ask for it on the different other products.
And can I ask, like, 'cause I'm sure at least one person, probably more, is thinking like, what's the best way to execute this? So I've already uploaded the image. It's generic, because you don't need to put the actual design on every image, because that'll take too long. Just make a generic one. But like, if they say, okay, I want it on a hoodie, and so your shirts, the maximum SKU costs like $22 or $23. How are you doing, like, handling the additional payment for the hoodie? Because I've seen a bunch of different ways of doing it on Etsy, but what's working for you?
Yeah, so for me, I actually have a generic listing of all those different types. And so regardless of the design, I then link them to that generic hoodie that says your design here. And so I did spend 20 cents to list it once, but I don't list it every single time I get a new request. And so I can use that same listing for any design they want. So that's been effective for me.
Got you. And then it's just a little bit of manual effort after that.
Yeah. But I do charge more for in that custom case, and so for me, the ROI is more than my normal shirts.
I hear you, man. My girlfriend Marielle, who's like pretty active on Etsy, the other day, I don't know, man. It's just like when she does something custom for a customer, she like upsells them. So she was charging like $45 for hoodies the other day, and somebody was ordering like 5. So like, I would be thinking the opposite, like, oh, you're ordering 5, let me give you a discount. She was like, oh, 5? That's gonna cost you like, and she literally got $45 a hoodie.
It takes me time as the artist, like, I got to talk to the manufacturing, like, this is a big deal. So I'm gonna get you a deal. And speaking about custom products, I think Etsy is really good in, customers frequently come to Etsy because they want a custom mug or a shirt or a sweatshirt. But if you have an Etsy shop, I recommend you niche it down specifically, because it's rare that somebody is looking for a custom shirt, or if they are, it's a very competitive listing. But if you say, we build custom graduation shirts, custom birthday shirts, you're going to get more traction in that specific niche for that custom thing you're showing, even though on the back end, it's all the same to you. You don't care if they put a birthday image or a graduation image. But if you add those keywords into that listing, and then the image shown is related to that niche, you're going to get more custom orders than just saying we sell custom shirts, because that is a very competitive niche. But niching down is where you're really going to capture those sales conversions.
No, that's a great tip, man. And I've forgot to ask you. So when you put that last image on your listings that says like available on these, like, how often are you getting somebody that loves the design so much that they want it on the shirt and something else, as opposed to like, or something else? Like, you get a shirt and a hoodie, or a shirt and a tank top.
It's not frequent, but maybe like once every 2 weeks, which is more than 0. And so in this game, it's really just, numbers. And so for me to do a little bit of more work and still get consistently 1 or 2 orders per week that are doing this additive sale, it's absolutely worth it. So would absolutely recommend doing that for your products.
Cool. And then I wanted to ask too, like, how was December? Like, when you're using, Printful, for instance, that's your main production partner, right?
Yeah, I use Printful.
So how was your did you have any issues with like handling time? Like how did you handle as we approached the deadline for like Christmas orders? How did you make that work? Did you have any problems?
Yeah, I mean, November and December are always crazy, exciting, stressful months. Even though I'm not producing anything, you have to be very communicative with the customer itself. So on Etsy, I recommend putting anywhere and everywhere you can the shipping, the shipping times as you get them from Printful. But this year, actually, Printful was really good and fast with production. Like I didn't see
Yeah.
any delays like I did the year before. There were other factors related to maybe the slow shipping. But this year, Printful killed it, knocked it out of the park, getting on-time deliveries. But a key component is always relaying that to the customer because they can come back and say, hey, I ordered this. I haven't gotten it in 3 days. You can point to them the several places that you listed and said, hey, this may take 7 to 11 days to get delivered. You obviously will tell them a longer time frame so that you can assure that you're going to be within your promised window. But just being communicative, that way the customer understands and it kind of covers you on the back end of saying, nope, I tried to tell you, like I gave you opportunities to know about our shipping times in the most professional kind way that I could. But it's a stressful time for sure because you see the sales coming in and you're wondering, is this going to be the one that the customer blows up at me because they didn't get there in time? So, but this year was actually significantly better than the year before.
Yeah, dude, Printful did a great job. Like I actually on Amazon went through that whole process of exporting like, 100,000 listings and then updating the handling time, bulk up, CSV upload to extend it. And then I realized like I did this too early. I did it out of like habit, and then I go back in and Printful's getting my orders out in like 48 hours max. Like
Yeah,
it varied by product type, but they were just killing it. So then I went in and like shortened my handling time from what I had put it at, gave it like another day or two, and the sales picked back up. And then I was like, all right, back to extending it because I don't want to deal with getting my, because I have FBA on the same account. I didn't want to risk like getting the account in trouble.
And there were some instances where I did some arbitrage, meaning a customer ordered on Etsy and they said, hey, can I get this in 5 days, 6 days? And my shipping time says 7 to 11. And I would pretend it was a big deal for me to be like, well, I got to go talk to the guy and like manufacturing, but I think I can make this happen. But in reality, what I did is I canceled their order in Printful and fulfilled it in Amazon if they're a US based customer. So one, it's cheaper for me to print something in Amazon. And two, I look like a hero. So I said, I can do it in this one case, but maybe you want to leave me a good review, So, there's opportunities to actually turn a shorter shipping window into a big win for you and for the customer.
Dude, that's great advice, man. I love that. And yeah, Amazon was also getting them out quick too. And KDP specifically, I feel like it was a couple days before Christmas and the KDP was still saying arrives by Christmas. I was like, what? Yeah. So that's impressive. Any other, Etsy tips that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, niching down, customization. What's worked well for me is being a little bit active. I have a Twitter handle specifically related to my shop and store, and it gives you an opportunity to, one, engage with your customer if you can find that audience on Twitter, but it also lets you understand what the trend is in that niche. For example, somebody came out and let's pretend my niche was political. I would then be able to quickly capture the political soundbite or theme of that week or month and put it into my shop and retweet it to my followers. So just being engaged with your audience. I recommend Twitter because that's the easiest place to kind of find your audiences. But there's lots of various platforms where you can create a brand profile and then engage with that audience there. So yeah, for me, Twitter's been very successful in getting additional customers to my site.
Yeah, dude, I love that idea, man. And especially if you're going to engage, like I was kind of doing Twitter the lazy way and just like using automation. But when you tweet too, like if you do have something that you want to kind of get out there in a new niche or a new sub niche of your main, do you use like mockup generators and kind of like, yeah, I feel like you could, you know what I mean? You could use a mockup generator and be like, oh man, I found this guy on the street wearing the shirt, and kind of like nest it.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend Placeit.net, which is a mockup generation tool. It also does some design stuff, but the investment of, I'm not really sure what it is per month, but whatever I pay for it, the ROI is significant because when I post an image, you can take your design, put it on a shirt, of a real human in a real environment, it looks like me, the shop owner, hired a model, hired a photographer, did some editing to get this realistic mock-up. And it's the best, I don't know, let's say it's $19 a month. Maybe it's cheaper than that. Whatever I'm spending a month, it's the best investment to give my store the perception of professionalism. And so in my niche, that works well on Etsy, because on Etsy, when you're seeing two shirts next to each other and they're the exact same design, maybe it's a simple text design, and you see one that's just the out of the box Printful mockup versus it's on a real model, in a real environment, you're going to pick this one all day, every day, because you think this shop is more professional because they spent money to take this photo. So Placeit.net is the mockup tool that I use, and it actually has some really good design elements too that I use, as quick tools to make some shirt designs as well.
Yeah, man. And your designs also were really good. Did you grab an All Sunsets subscription?
I did. I grabbed the All Sunsets, and when I first got it, I was like, these are silly. Like, everybody watching Ryan's videos is going to go download the same sunset as me. How am I going to be different? But there's something about that sunset design that if you take, your elements and put it onto that sunset, people are attracted to buying it. My best sellers are sunsets. So
dude,
all
it's crazy.
sunset, yeah, I mean, the psychology of it, I don't get it, but people are buying more sunset shirts than any other type of shirt that I sell. So 10 out of 10 recommend getting that subscription to All Sunsets as well.
Yeah, I'll throw my affiliate link in the description. If you guys
sorry, don't mean to plug, but investing in some of these tools absolutely has a long-term ROI. Like, when you're spending money for these graphics or for these tools, you have to be thinking longer term. I'm going to make this up because I'm better, cheaper, faster at making these designs, and I'm going to get more sales. So for me, the investments that you have or the tools that you've recommended have been, highly.
I'm glad they're working, man. I'm glad
sure.
They're working for you. Because I'm not kidding, man. The designs look great, and like a design that is already selling, and like you said, you can sometimes just grab the graphic, put it on a sunset, and it's like you've changed almost nothing. You've just literally drag and dropped it, and then like upload that again or something. And yeah, like it's crazy how many times that's worked.
There's the blue sunset, the red sunset, the square sunset, the circle sunset. So it's like just with a single design, you get 10 variations, right? And so when you're trying to capture that realty on Amazon or Redbubble or TeePublic, the number of designs is key. So that variation, because you never know who's looking for red keyword, blue keyword, green keyword. And so, by making multiple designs of this, multiple colors of the same design, it just puts you in a better position.
Cool, man. Hey, great tips. And before we wrap up, I just want an update, man. Like how is life on the West Coast? How is it at your job? Any updates you would like to share with us at permission.io?
Sure. Yeah. And last time we had spoke, I was in this position where I had just quit my long-term software engineering job and was like, I'm going full crypto, and I'm going to use this passive income stream. Thanks, Ryan, to kind of supplement the hedging the risk of going into this crypto startup company. And so now it's been, 8-9 months. I've been at Permission.io, which is a cryptocurrency project that I think your audience is probably more interested in, because the whole ethos of the project is earn from your data. So passive income from the things that you're already doing today. So when you're browsing the web, you're seeing all these ads from Amazon, Google, Facebook, but you, the user, never get compensated for the use of your data, right? So when I myself pay for ads to get put in front of people, but when you, the user of the internet, see this ad, it's Facebook who's collecting all the revenue from the advertiser. And when you click on it, you, the user, never get any type of compensation for the use of your data. So what Permission.io is, it's enabling you, the user, to actually earn cryptocurrency from engaging with ads like you normally do today. And so, it's a very exciting Web3 advertising platform, and we're growing, we're scaling. Ryan will leave the link down below. Hopefully, Permission.io will give you his referral link. But it's a great way if you are interested in passively earning these income streams, especially if you're not really familiar with crypto, because I think crypto for some people is this big, bad, scary word. But if you can earn a little bit for free, and start to understand the ecosystems, the wallets, this might be a really good starting point for some of your audience to passively earn some crypto, and then to dip a bigger toe into, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, and learn more about it. But it's been very exciting here at Permission.io. We're growing, and I'm happy to still report that the passive income streams is helping me pursue my passions.
Dude, that's great, man. And like I've obviously looked into the project. I invested some, back the last time we chatted, and like I'm still hoping that long term, like I'm confident, you know what I mean, that it's a foundationally got a lot more of a solid base than a lot of these other projects that are probably going to disappear at some point in the future. So I'm hoping that it goes to the moon, as they like to say.
Let's do it. I can't talk price or any of that stuff, but let's grow.
Yeah, and I mean conceptually too, it at least like has some it's providing some functionality. Conceptually, it makes sense, and yeah, I love the aspect of like us getting having some equity in that exchange of whatever it is, monetizing our attention and our data, like the Google and Facebook ad networks do, and Amazon ad networks do. So that's it's exciting, man.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. Hey, all right, we're gonna keep in touch. Obviously, I'm gonna invite you back for whenever you want to share another success story on the channel. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a good one.